Eat to Beat Disease by William W. Lee, M.D. Picture this. Right now, as you're listening to this, there's a secret battle happening inside you. Tiny rogue cells are forming, microscopic cancers sprouting up like weeds. It's not just you. This happens to everyone, every single day. Your DNA makes up to 10,000 mistakes daily, creating these little troublemakers constantly. But here's the wild part. Most of us will never even know they exist. Why? Because your body is basically a superhero fortress, packed with natural defense systems that work around the clock to protect you. These systems are so ridiculously effective that they can literally starve mini-cancers, patch up damaged DNA, rebuild your organs from scratch, and unleash an immune army that destroys threats before they become problems. For years, doctors have told us that being healthy just means not being sick. But what if that's completely backwards? What if health is actually an active battle, a moment-by-moment fight that your body is constantly winning with these amazing defenders? This game-changing idea is what drives Eat to Beat Disease, a revolutionary book by Dr. William W. Lee, a genuine heavyweight in the medical world. Dr. Lee isn't some internet health guru peddling miracle cures. He's a Harvard-trained researcher who spent over 25 years pushing the boundaries of medical science, leading a foundation that's developed more than 30 FDA-approved treatments, touching millions of lives. But here's where things get interesting. While treating patients devastated by cancer, heart disease, and diabetes, he kept hearing the same desperate question. After the shock of a terrible diagnosis, after the talk of surgeries and medications, patients would look at him with hope and ask, "Doc, what can I eat to help myself?" For years, like most doctors, he had no real answer. Even the top medical schools teach shockingly little about nutrition. So Dr. Lee went on a mission to find genuine, scientific answers. He and his team started studying food the same way pharmaceutical companies study drugs, with serious rigor and cutting-edge technology. What they discovered will completely transform how you look at your next meal. In this summary, we're diving deep into your body's 5 incredible defense systems. We'll uncover the surprising, often delicious foods that supercharge them. And by the end, you'll get something profound. You're not some helpless victim of bad genes or rotten luck. You're the commander of your own health fortress. And the most powerful weapon you've got? It's sitting in your kitchen. So what exactly is this fortress I keep talking about? Dr. William Lee wants us to completely reimagine our bodies. Forget the idea of a fragile machine destined to break down. Instead, think ancient castle, brilliantly designed, protected by layers of smart, built-in defenses. Health isn't about hiding from invaders. It's about having defenses so strong that invaders don't stand a chance. The book reveals 5 core defense systems that are the foundation of health. Let's dive in, one by one. Our first defense system is called angiogenesis. Here's the fascinating part. It's all about blood vessels. Imagine a sprawling network of highways stretching 60,000 miles through your body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every single cell. That's your circulatory system. Angiogenesis is how your body grows brand new blood vessels. When it's working perfectly, it's like a master contractor, building new roads exactly where they're needed, healing wounds, building muscle after workouts, even creating the placenta to feed a baby in the womb. Your body keeps this system in perfect balance, something scientists call homeostasis. Not too many vessels, not too few, just right. But here's the sinister twist. Diseases can hijack this life-giving system. Remember those microscopic cancers forming constantly? They start out harmless, smaller than a pinpoint. Your healthy angiogenesis system keeps them locked down by starving them of blood supply. As long as they can't recruit their own private highway of blood vessels, they can't grow, can't invade your organs, can't spread. They stay dormant, and eventually your immune system spots them and clears them out. But if a tiny cluster of cancer cells manages to outsmart this defense, it starts sending out distress signals, tricking your body into growing new blood vessels directly to it. Once that happens, a tumor can explode, growing up to 16,000 times bigger in just 2 weeks. Those same blood vessels then become escape routes for cancer cells to spread throughout your body. And it's this spreading, called metastasis, that's truly dangerous. This isn't just about cancer either. Too many abnormal blood vessels fuel over 70 different diseases. It's behind the vision loss in macular degeneration and diabetic eye disease, where tangled vessels leak and bleed. It drives arthritis, where destructive vessels invade joints, and it's even involved in Alzheimer's disease and obesity. On the flip side, sometimes the problem is too few blood vessels. As we age, our circulation naturally weakens. If you get a blockage in an artery feeding your heart or brain, your body's defense is trying to grow natural bypass vessels around it. If it can't pull this off effectively, tissues starve and die, leading to heart attacks, strokes, wounds that won't heal, even hair loss. So the goal isn't stopping angiogenesis entirely, but keeping it balanced. And this is where food becomes your secret weapon. Dr. Lee reveals that foods like soy, tomatoes, green tea, and yes, even red wine, contain natural compounds that act as guardian angels for your blood vessels. They help your body prune back excessive vessels without harming the healthy ones. Other foods, like barley, can stimulate blood vessel growth where you actually need it, like in a struggling heart. We're not fighting the system, we're helping it stay naturally balanced. The second great defense system is regeneration. Your body is constantly rebuilding itself. Your intestines regenerate every few days, your skin every 2 weeks, even your skeleton gets completely replaced about every 10 years. This incredible power comes from stem cells. We're literally made from them. As an embryo, a tiny ball of stem cells transformed into every organ and tissue you have. As adults, we still have roughly 750,000 of these remarkable cells scattered throughout our bone marrow, lungs, liver, and nearly every organ. They're your body's internal repair crew. When you get injured or disease strikes, your stem cells spring into action. They receive SOS signals from the damaged area, mobilize from their hiding spots called niches, travel through your bloodstream, and zero in on the exact injury site like a heat-seeking missile. Once there, they can morph into whatever cell type is needed, land in your heart, become heart cells, land in your liver, become liver cells. The power is mind-blowing. Dr. Lai describes this landmark experiment where pregnant mice had heart attacks. Scientists discovered that stem cells from the fetus actually migrated into the mother's bloodstream, traveled to her damaged heart, and started regenerating it. That's how deep our regenerative programming runs. But like everything else, our stem cells are vulnerable. Lifestyle choices can make them heroes or zeros. Smoking habitually depletes your stem cell reserves and slashes their effectiveness by almost 40%. Heavy drinking cripples them. And diabetes is an absolute stem cell assassin. High blood sugar demolishes their ability to repair your organs, which is why diabetes causes so many devastating complications like heart failure, kidney failure, and wounds that never heal. But when we boost our stem cells, the benefits are incredible. Studies show people with higher levels of circulating stem cells have dramatically lower risk of heart attacks or strokes, and much better odds of surviving if one does happen. This is where your diet becomes a regeneration powerhouse. Certain foods can actually mobilize your stem cells, boosting their numbers and performance. There's this amazing study where heart disease patients who drank high flavanol hot cocoa for 30 days literally doubled their circulating stem cells. That effect matched what statins, a common cholesterol drug, can do. Other foods, fish rich in omega-3s, mangoes, certain teas, can help stem cells protect your heart, regenerate your brain, and keep your body rebuilding from the inside out. But there's a dark side. Just as normal stem cells build healthy tissue, mutated cancer stem cells can build cancerous tissue. These are the dangerous seeds that start tumors and cause them to come roaring back after treatment. Amazingly, some foods contain compounds that can specifically target and destroy these cancer stem cells without touching the healthy ones. The book highlights studies on purple potatoes, walnuts, and green tea, showing their ability to suppress these deadly cancer-starting cells. So with diet, you can feed the good stem cells while fighting the bad ones. This brings us to our third defense system, one living inside you, the microbiome. You're not just human, you're a walking ecosystem. Inside your gut and on your skin, you're hosting around 39 trillion bacteria. For the longest time, we thought bacteria were just dirty germs to be exterminated. But science is now revealing that the vast majority of these microbes are allies, working in sophisticated ways to defend your health. This inner ecosystem influences almost everything. Some gut bacteria produce brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine that affect your mood. Others help control belly fat and protect against diabetes. They're deeply connected to your other defenses, influencing blood vessel growth, stem cells, and especially your immune system. In fact, a huge chunk of your immune command center lives in your gut. The diversity of this ecosystem is what matters. Like a thriving coral reef, the more numerous and diverse your bacterial species, the healthier you are. When these bacteria digest your food, especially fiber, they produce beneficial byproducts called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These SCFAs are like magic health elixirs. They fight inflammation, lower cholesterol, improve your sugar metabolism, boost immunity, and guide blood vessel growth. This is why feeding your bacteria matters so much. They eat what you eat. The book explains two main approaches. You can eat probiotic foods containing live, healthy bacteria. These are fermented foods humans have eaten for thousands of years. Yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, and traditional cheeses like Parmigiano Reggiano and Gouda. When you eat these, you're directly recruiting new, helpful citizens to your inner community. You can also eat prebiotic foods. These are typically high-fiber foods that you can't digest, but your gut bacteria absolutely love them. Think of prebiotics as fertilizer for your inner garden. Foods like pumpernickel bread, kiwi fruit, beans, and walnuts are fantastic prebiotics. When you eat them, you're fueling the good bacteria you already have, helping them thrive and produce those wonderful SCFAs. On the flip side, an unhealthy diet wreaks havoc on your microbiome. A Western-style diet loaded with animal protein and fat but low in fiber can starve the good bacteria. Dr. Lee describes this sobering study where mice were switched to an unhealthy, low-fiber diet. Not only did their beneficial bacteria plummet, but this damage was passed down through generations. By the fourth generation, over 70% of the original healthy microbes had gone extinct. This shows that your dietary choices don't just affect you, they can impact your children's and grandchildren's health. Our fourth defense system protects our very blueprint, DNA protection. Your DNA is the source code for your entire existence. It contains instructions for making the 10,000 proteins your body needs to function. Yet this precious blueprint is incredibly fragile and under constant attack. Every single day, your DNA sustains more than 10,000 damaging events. These come from external threats, like UV radiation from the sun, radon gas from the ground, or chemicals in the environment. But damage also happens internally from processes like inflammation. So why don't we all just fall apart? Because our DNA has its own defense mechanisms. The first is a powerful repair system. Think of it as microscopic maintenance workers constantly patrolling your genetic highway. When they spot a broken or mutated section, they use molecular scissors to snip it out and replace it with the correct sequence. This system is incredibly efficient, preventing the vast majority of errors from becoming permanent, and food can help this repair crew. Dr. Lai points to research on kiwi fruit showing that eating them reduces DNA damage by about 60%, while increasing the DNA repair process itself by 66%. Carrots have also been shown to boost DNA repair. Another way DNA defends us is through epigenetics. This is fascinating. While your core genetic code doesn't change, your lifestyle and environment, including what you eat, can turn certain genes on or off. Think of your DNA as a massive piano keyboard. You're born with all the keys, but epigenetics determines which keys get played and which stay silent. Healthy activities like exercise and good sleep cause positive changes, turning on genes that build muscle or burn fat. Stress and toxins cause negative changes, activating genes linked to inflammation. Foods can be powerful epigenetic controllers. For example, compounds in soy and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli have been shown to epigenetically turn on powerful tumor suppressor genes, genes that act as guardians preventing cancer growth. So by eating these foods, you're essentially telling your body to play the right music to defend your health. The third DNA defense involves telomeres. You know those little plastic caps at the ends of your shoelaces? Aglets? Telomeres are like aglets for your chromosomes. They're protective caps at the ends of your DNA that shield it from wear and tear as you age. Every time your cells divide, your telomeres get a little shorter, like a burning fuse. When they get too short, the cell can no longer divide, and it dies. Shorter telomeres are a hallmark of aging. In fact, studies show people who live to 100 have unusually long telomeres. Once again, choices matter. Smoking, stress, and poor diet speed up telomere shortening. But healthy choices protect them. The book highlights studies showing that drinking coffee and tea is associated with longer telomeres. Adopting a Mediterranean diet rich in vegetables, fruits, nuts, and olive oil is also linked to longer telomeres, effectively slowing aging at the cellular level. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and perhaps most famous defense system, immunity. Your immune system is your body's personal army, a sophisticated military force with different branches and specialized soldiers designed to tell friend from foe. It fights viruses, bacteria, and parasites. But its power goes much further. A strong immune system can protect you against cancer. In fact, cancer only becomes a disease once it manages to escape destruction by your immune system. Sometimes cancer cells are masters of disguise. They can cloak themselves in friendly proteins, tricking immune cells into thinking they're normal, healthy cells. This allows them to hide in plain sight and grow. This is where modern medical breakthroughs called immunotherapies come in. They work by ripping off this cloak, allowing your immune system to see the cancer and destroy it. Dr. Lai shares the incredible story of former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, who at age 90 was diagnosed with deadly melanoma that had spread to his brain. Using an immunotherapy drug, his own immune system was activated and completely wiped out all traces of the cancer. This shows the awesome power lying dormant within us. The goal is keeping this army strong and well-equipped, and diet is one of our best tools. The book is packed with examples. Aged garlic extract significantly increases the number and activity of immune T cells and natural killer cells, frontline soldiers that fight infections and cancer. Broccoli sprouts can boost immune response to flu vaccines. Pacific oysters contain compounds that can shrink tumors in lab studies by activating the immune system. But like everything else, immunity is about balance. Sometimes the immune system becomes overactive and mistakenly attacks our own healthy tissues. This happens in autoimmune diseases like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and multiple sclerosis. In these cases, the goal is calming the immune system down. And again, food can help. Green tea contains a compound called EGCG that turns down pro-inflammatory T cells while increasing regulatory T cells that restore immune balance. This has shown benefits in studies of both lupus and MS. Foods rich in vitamin C, like oranges and strawberries, are also associated with lower risk of active lupus. These 5 systems, angiogenesis, regeneration, microbiome, DNA protection, and immunity, are the pillars of your health. They don't work in isolation. They support and interact with one another in a beautifully orchestrated symphony. A healthy microbiome talks to your immune system. Stem cells rely on blood vessel growth to deliver supplies to newly regenerated tissue. DNA protection keeps all the other systems from going haywire. Understanding these systems is step 1. Step 2 is taking action. This is where Dr. Lee introduces his beautifully simple plan, the 5x5x5 framework. It's not a restrictive diet. It's a flexible strategy to help you incorporate health-defending foods into your life. Here's how it works. First, you go through the list of over 200 health-boosting foods in the book and create your own personalized preferred food list, foods you already know you enjoy. Second, each day you choose 5 of those foods from your list, making sure your choices cover all 5 health defense systems. Third, you aim to eat those 5 foods over the course of the day's 5 eating opportunities: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a couple of snacks. That's it. It's about adding good things in, not deprivation. It's personal, flexible, and sustainable. By making these small, conscious choices every day, you're systematically fortifying every one of your body's natural defenses. You're quite literally eating to beat disease. As we wrap up this journey, I want to reflect on the profound message at the heart of Eat to Beat Disease. For so long, we've been trained to see our health as something that happens to us. We get sick, we see a doctor, we get treatment. We're often just passengers in our own bodies. What Dr. William Lai does so brilliantly is flip that script completely. This book is a declaration of empowerment. It tells us our bodies aren't passive victims waiting for disease to strike. They're active, resilient, and armed with incredible capacity to heal and defend themselves. Health, he teaches us, isn't a noun. It's a verb. It's something we do, something we build and maintain with every choice we make. The most powerful lesson for me is the shift from a mindset of fear and avoidance to one of abundance and opportunity. So many health books focus on what you must eliminate, restrict, fear. They create a world of no. Eat to Beat Disease creates a world of yes. Yes to dark chocolate that can mobilize your stem cells. Yes to a glass of red wine that can protect your telomeres. Yes to delicious cheeses that feed your microbiome. Yes to flavorful tomato sauce that can starve cancer cells. It turns eating from a source of anxiety into a source of joy and power. And this isn't based on flimsy anecdotes or ancient folklore. It's grounded in cutting-edge science, presented by a man who's dedicated his life to the highest levels of medical research. He takes these complex systems, angiogenesis, epigenetics, the microbiome, and using simple, beautiful analogies, makes them understandable to everyone. The body is a fortress, telomeres as shoelace caps. These images stick with you and transform abstract biology into tangible reality. So how can you start putting this wisdom into practice today? First, simply change your perspective. Next time you sit down for a meal, look at your plate. Don't just see calories or carbs. See information. See instructions you're sending to your body's defense systems. Is there color on your plate? Color often signals the presence of powerful bioactive compounds. Are there any of the grand slammer foods Dr. Lee mentions? Foods like blueberries, carrots, nuts, or olive oil that support all 5 defense systems at once? Second, don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's the path to failure. Instead, embrace the 5x5x5 framework. Start small. This week, just pick one food from your new preferred list and make a point of adding it to your diet a few times. Maybe it's swapping your usual snack for a handful of walnuts. Maybe it's adding a side of steamed broccoli to dinner. Small, consistent actions build lasting health. And third, become a curious explorer in your own kitchen and at the grocery store. Try one new vegetable or fruit from the book you've never tasted before. Look for those standout varieties Dr. Lee points to, like San Marzano tomatoes or picul olive oil. Turn the act of feeding yourself into an adventure. That was a summary of Eat to Beat Disease by Dr. William W. Lai. We've touched on the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you. A summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. It shows you the layout, but it can never replace the experience of actually walking its streets, breathing its air, and meeting its people. The real magic happens when you read the book for yourself. It's in the quiet moments when a particular study or simple phrase resonates with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time. If anything we've discussed today has sparked your curiosity, I truly encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's an experience that can genuinely change the way you see your body and the food you eat every single day. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please consider giving this a like and subscribing to Billionaire's Bookshelf. It helps us continue bringing these powerful ideas to more people, and it ensures you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.